This episode of the Rocker Skating Podcast is brought to you by John Wilson Blades. For more than 329 years, John Wilson has been perfecting the art of blade making in Sheffield, England. And while their history runs deep, their eyes are always on the future. That's why they created the Revolution, the world's most advanced figure skating blade. It is the perfect fusion of centuries-old craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology, delivering unmatched precision, responsiveness, and performance. That's why the majority of world and Olympic champions trust John Wilson. Because when history meets innovation, you get the revolution. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast. This is part 2 of our U.S. Figure Skating Championships preview. If you missed part 1, we talked about the pairs and the women's event, and we had a special interview with Sonia Hilmer that is very fun to listen to. So go have a listen if you haven't had a chance to do that. But in this episode, we will talk through our men's predictions and our dance predictions for the U.S. Figure Skating Championships this week in St. Louis. All right, well, U.S. Championships, let's talk about dance first? Let's talk about dance first.
Let's go.
Okay, coming into this season, I'm going to set the stage here. Coming into this season, I don't think there will be anybody who would be like, who wouldn't be like it's going to be Chokin Bates and Carrera Ponomarenko, who are your top two, coming into the season. After all, Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko were 5th at Worlds last year. 5th.
Yeah.
And they are barely even like the 5th top U.S. dance team this season so far.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean,
well, yeah. Placement-wise, yeah.
Yeah, placement-wise, right? Like, Chokin Bates, Zengos Kolesnik, Green Parsons, and who else? Maybe they're number 4. It's quite the change, and I think they've got to be a little bit shell-shocked. I'm talking about Carrera Ponomarenko.
Yeah.
They've got to be a little shell-shocked coming into nationals. They have changed their free dance and gone back to an old free dance. And I think it's this week it will be about the levels. But it will also be about what the judges are going to do with their components relative to everybody else. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with Carrera Ponomarenko. I do know, I'm pretty sure that Zengos Kolesnik is going to be well received this week, especially given how they've skated this season, how they have been received internationally this season, the fact that they've made the Grand Prix final, all of that.
Yeah.
They have great material.
I would be shocked if they're not second here. I feel like that's just,
I just don't, because the pecking order has been so upset this season, it feels like a very different kind of dance event than we have seen in many years.
Well, we still have the coronation of Chokin Bates at that top.
Chokin Bates, Chokin Bates will be like, how do you out France in and it's like for Canadians it's like, how do you out France in the Canadian championships? All of that. I think, I gotta say though, Maddie and Evan have not had good nationals memories over the past few years.
They need to not get sick, just stay healthy.
They were throwing up the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I keep remembering seeing Evan 2 years ago walk in
white as a sheet,
and he like looked at me and like gave me this look of like, don't come close.
Yeah. I mean, he was not doing well out there on the ice. But like and it's really important that they skated the last 2 nationals, because if they win here, they will be they will set the record for most U.S. titles ever by a dance team. They have to do it. And like last year, like they had to skate. You have to skate because you
I
just
mean,
have to get it.
they've been skating for what, 55 years?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like they are going to have like pretty much every record except Skate America, because last year at Skate America, they had that issue in their rhythm dance and they lost to Fear and Gibson. So now they are tied with Tanith and Ben for Skate America titles. But right now they're tied with Marilyn Charlie for national titles. If they win here, they get the record. So unless they come back the next year, I never count Evan Bates out.
They would happily settle for bronze here if that meant that they won the Olympic title.
Yeah.
But yes, the continued coordination of Chalk and Bates.
And it's delightful to see how much promo material they're on here. I mean, it's not Alyssa, it's not Ilya, it's Maddie and Evan.
They have been raking in the endorsements, pet food.
On Thursday, just keep your ears peeled, because your eyes peeled, your ears tuned. I don't know. You're going to find out something else about Maddie and Evan on Thursday, another little project they've been doing.
Oh my gosh.
So
many little projects that have been happening. This week will be very exciting for content that Michelle and I may or may not have had a hand in over the past year.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Okay, so let's take the scenario of Chalk and Bates and Zhinga Kolesnik being 1-2. Now, who's number 3?
I mean, that's, I don't know. Okay.
I know.
You know that I'm obsessed with Anthony and Christina's La Bouche Crystal Waters rhythm dance. Love it. But I feel like, and I will say, Gabby Papadakis told me that she thinks that that's like the best rhythm dance anybody has this season, not just American. She's like, this is the best one. Okay, so they need to skate it well. I think they've been not really doing it justice. That said, I love Carolina Michaels. Delight.
Same.
I'm Too Sexy mashup. I mean, and Michael Parsons, I feel like, I know you love Solius and his I'm Too Sexy, but Michael Parsons has not worn sleeves in recorded memory. I don't even know what he looks like in sleeves. Okay. He has been preparing his whole career to have those guns out for this program. So, yeah. And I love Caroline Michaels' free dance this year. It's so cool. And I love them doing something so unique and edgy in the Olympic year. Like, we're just doing art. We don't care what it's for. It's just like, we don't have enough spots.
I would just like it if they don't fall on their twizzles.
Oh my God, yes.
Please.
Neither one of them, please.
Please.
Please. Yeah.
I think that for me, that's probably the biggest thing. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be very close between the two of them.
Yeah. I don't even know who I would send. I don't know.
I know.
It's tough.
Material-wise, I lean toward Green and Parsons just a bit more. I have to see the Perfume free dance again because I have not, and see what differences they've done to it and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's between the two of them, and then there's the outside shot of the Shibutanis.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Who have a new rhythm dance.
Yep.
Nothing like debuting a rhythm dance at nationals, especially
anyone
after
can do it. It's them. Yeah.
Especially after 8 years off the ice.
Yeah.
We did find out, by the way, in some interview that they had, that the reason they had such a late start to their season was because Maya Shibutani had a fairly serious injury. It was a
kneecap fracture.
Kneecap, yeah.
Which, like, that can be bad. I think that's what Penny Coombs had that took them out for like a whole season.
Right.
And she had to have multiple surgeries because the pieces were like floating around and like all kinds of stuff. So relatively quick recovery. I mean, for a scary injury. But
I think there's an X factor there, right? That this is now a nationals panel.
Mhm.
Um, they're Olympic medalists.
Mhm.
There's a certain kind of nostalgia there.
Yeah.
I I I still don't think they're gonna figure into the medals,
No.
but stranger things have happened in
Mhm.
ice dance. But I do think the third spot will be between Greener Parsons and Carrera Ponomarenko.
Yeah. And I would love for Brady and Somerville to be in that mix too. They've had kind of a difficult season, but really, they had injuries, they had issues at the beginning of the year. They really built it back up later in the season at their challenger events that they went to and other internationals. And I mean, even if they don't make the Olympic team, I'd like to see them skate really well here and be a factor. Because, they're so talented and they really should be in the mix. It's just, yeah.
I think what's interesting too here is that there are these like very very separate battles for different
Mhm.
teams here. Um, because we're going to see there's obviously the Olympic team battle,
Mhm.
but most of the Olympic team is not going to go to four continents. And so there's
Yeah.
in some ways, it's always been sort of this like consolation prize of going to four
Mhm.
continents. But for some of these teams who aren't actually, some of these teams or skaters who aren't
Mhm.
actually like thinking they're going to go to the Olympics, the four continents team is actually fairly important to them.
Yeah.
And then also the
Yeah.
the potential of withdrawals for worlds, right? Like so
Yeah.
so there's a lot to be had here, and just because you're not named right away doesn't
Mhm.
mean you're not going to go, especially for the world team.
It would be heartbreaking, though, to see Green and Parsons go to 4 continents again. Because I remember like it was yesterday, them
Yeah.
winning 2022 4 continents and then being asked in their winter interview, "You going to the Olympics?" And they're like, "No." Oh. Uh,
Oh, so
I
sad.
I wanna mention one more team, though. If we're gonna talk about the Shibutanis as a factor for the Olympic team, we have to talk about Wolf Kostin and Sarevsky, too, who beat them pretty decisively at NHK Trophy and have made so many improvements this year. They look so good. They've, like, taken, like, a big step forward, and they have that great Kill Bill free dance that just works so well on them, and, yeah, I'm excited to see them, too. I mean,
I'm going to add one more.
yeah.
Una Brown and Gage Brown.
Yes.
That
Decapitate your brother.
I know. But that's just also the thing about
Uh-huh.
US ice dance is that
Mhm.
there is this very jam-packed sort of like
Mhm.
fourth to ninth or fourth to
Yeah.
eighth. You can throw Peyton Bai in there, and you
Yeah.
can throw
Neset
Neset
Markaloff.
Markelov in there.
Yeah.
Like it's they're all
Mhm.
in this group that if any of them skate lights out and really hit their levels cleanly, like
Mhm.
that changes things a
Mhm.
lot. And
Yeah.
we have seen a good amount of just general sort of uh, movement
Mhm.
within the ice dance, you know, um, standings over the past few years,
Mhm.
and I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case again this year. I
Mhm.
mean, the Browns were fifth last year.
Mhm.
You know, Brady and Somerville were sixth last year, and then were what,
3rd the year
third the year
before.
before. I mean, like it's
Yeah.
just like there's a lot of these ups and downs.
Yeah. I
So
mean, obviously outside chance for the Olympic team, but the Browns would be an incredible Olympic story.
very outside,
Yeah.
very outside.
Yeah.
I love their skating, and I don't think
Mhm.
they get enough credit for the stuff
Yeah.
that they do out
Well, I mentioned Gabby Papadakis. It's like she loves them.
there.
I mean, every time we see them compete, she's like, they have the best skating skills in the competition. It's like, wow. So, yeah.
Gabby Papadakis,
I'm excited to
anointing
see
skating
her. I'm
skills.
having fun working with her. She's got really interesting opinions and yeah, she's a very creative person.
Yeah. Well, she's got that book coming out too, so
Yeah. Well, I think it's out but it's only in French. And I'm like,
Yeah.
please, we need an English version. I think she has a French publisher, and I think getting them to release an English version, I don't know that like that their market that they serve tends to, but I'm like, people will order that
Yeah,
online.
people will order it.
I'm like,
People
just do
will
a
order it.
pre-sale and see how many you get. I mean, yeah,
Just
it'll
have
pay for itself.
Just have
Yeah.
Gabby do an audiobook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, on to the men.
Okay.
And nobody's going to doubt that Ilya Molina is going to win his fourth national title. But then what happens to the rest? Those are questions that we can't answer. You would think that Jason Brown has a bit of an edge for second.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah.
But
he's reliable.
We're gonna see what happens with that triple axel this week. I think that's been the X factor all season long. It hasn't been gone, but it hasn't been completely there either.
It's been tight.
It's been tight.
But it's been coming out of hibernation.
Exactly. He does tend to peak in the second half of the season. And let's hope that the last month has been good for him in training. I mean, it's crazy that we're seeing Jason Brown in 2026.
I know. Yeah.
You know, and the interview that I had with him, I was like, we all thought you were going to retire after Sinnerman and Beijing, and he was like, I also thought I was going to retire. So it's great to see him here.
I mean, he's only 31.
Fourth Olympic cycle.
For an ice dancer, that's pretty young. So nowadays.
Are we manifesting Jason Brown ice dancer?
Yeah, well, I'm just comparing him to other people in figure skating, you know. But yeah, I'd love to see him as an ice dancer.
But should we manifest Jason Brown ice dancer?
That would be fun.
Jason Brown, time for ice dance.
I mean, he could
make the Olympics first, and then do the ice dance. Okay. So,
I personally, I have Jason on the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think it comes down to Tomoki, Max Naumov, Tomoki Iwatashi, Max Naumov, and Andrew Torgashev. I feel like Tomoki has a bit of a lead based on his season results, but I also feel like Max is right there. Andrew is the one I feel like he has a little bit of ground to make up. Like he needs to show that he can do 2 clean programs because he's not really done that yet since nationals last year at the same competition. I think France was the closest he got. Well, I guess Nebelhorn was
Nebelhorn.
Still, yeah, it's still like I want to see him fight because when the thing is that's really I think a detriment for Andrew that he has to deal with is that when he's on, he is so good. I mean, he just like takes it to an 11, but when he's not that on, the wheels kind of come off a little bit. It's like he has a big range he can be in. I mean, I think he could easily grab the spot if he just goes out and does what he's capable of. I just don't know if he will.
But really, who would like if someone at this time last year told you that Tomoki Iwatashi would be one of the favorites for an Olympic spot this season, that's exactly the reaction. That laugh. I mean, like there's just no his transformation over the past season has been nothing short of phenomenal. Like you know,
it also makes me wonder what is different about his training now versus before.
Japan.
Yeah, he's had a big change, and it's like something about the way they train him over there has helped, and it's it's I don't, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's I don't even know what to say. It's like unbelievable. Like I was talking to Andrea earlier about this, and I was like, I feel like it's Tomoki because that boy was a hurricane until this season when all of a sudden he is just so reliable. So
I think there's something to regiment that has been or the regimen that has been very good for him in Japan.
Yeah.
It was funny when I was at Japan Nationals, Sumitada Moriguchi was like he literally pulled me aside and he was like, we're all rooting for Tomoki for the
Ah,
Olympics, of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
They're now training mates, right?
yeah,
And so
yeah.
there's a big contingent there. I mean,
Mhm.
he was at Japan Nationals
Yeah, I remember
watching it.
you saw each other to the Spider-Man thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know you.
um, so he
Mhm,
hopefully he got some inspiration from
mhm.
that. I agree with you though. I think Tomoki probably has an edge right now.
Yeah.
Um, for me, second in line is Andrew, third in line
Mhm,
is Max.
mhm,
Um, but I think any of those three, whoever wins it out of those three, goes to the
mhm.
Olympics.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
And I don't really think there's another factor out there other than those three.
I mean, I would love for Jacob Sanchez to be one, but
Same,
he hasn't
same.
gotten that far this season. I mean, love his skating. I'd love to see Jimmy Ma be in there. I at least want to see Jimmy have a great nationals. I cannot wait to see his free skate live. I'm
Same.
so excited. Yeah.
I will Yelp the first time I see it, which will be tomorrow.
I know, we're
And
gonna be hooting and hollering in the stands.
that means I will be yelping. I will be yelping on the Peacock stream tomorrow with
Yeah.
Jean-Luc. That's what's
Let's
going to
go.
happen. Yeah, I think none of them have had anywhere close to the season that the three that we were talking about have
Mhm,
had, right? And so that's a big part of it, right? Is that Tomoki and Andrew and Max have all had these 220 to 240-ish scores
mhm,
that they've taken from them internationally, and so and fairly consistently, and so
mhm,
that's been the sort of factor for them. Jason Brown has had a couple of 240 and 250s, and so
mhm,
he's got a higher seal or a higher average this season internationally. So that you got to take a look at those scores, right, and the placements of those. Um, Again, I think I talked about Lucius Kazanecki earlier,
mhm,
who um, has been on the junior level,
mhm.
but will be part of the Olympic team selection pool
Yeah.
because he qualified for the Junior Grand Prix final. But be sure, like he is a very long shot for the
Yeah,
Olympics, and
yeah,
he would need to be like second or whatever, right?
yeah,
To be seriously in
yeah,
contention because you have to look at both
mhm,
the competitions that he was in and also what he was
mhm,
scoring, right? And so if you look at the scores outside of the selection criteria stuff, if you look at the scores, it's still Jason, Tomoki, Andrew,
yeah.
Max who are up there.
I mean, and if we look at what happened in 2022, Ilya Malinin was a junior, came junior internationally, came to national senior, and was second and didn't make the team. So I feel like there's like, I feel like U.S. figure skating has in mind like the people that are in consideration, and I don't know if they see Lucius for this Olympics. They probably see him for the next one. We'll
Yeah.
definitely see him for the next one.
Well,
I was
that
so good.
well, I was gonna say the other thing that was a factor in 2022
Yeah.
was also that uh, Ilya he was assigned to a senior event
Hmm.
before nationals, and he didn't skate that well in it.
Mm,
That I would imagine had he skated had he put down like a 260, 270
hmm.
in that event and then gone to the national championships and got
Yeah.
second, that would have changed the selection altogether.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll never
This
know.
is yeah, we'll never know.
Yeah.
This is all a what if
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. But
But at that point he didn't have technical minimums for the
mm,
Olympics.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That was part of
Mhm.
the thing. And
Mhm.
this was before the whole combined technical
Yeah.
minimum thing, right? Like you had
Yeah.
to have a certain
Yeah.
certain number of points
Yeah.
for the short program, and then you had a certain number of points for the free skate.
Yeah.
So anyway, um, neither here nor there because we will never know the what if on that one. But you were saying,
I can't remember. It's gone. It flew away.
It's gone. It's gone. Kind of like in the women's event, for the men, I'm excited to see Sam Mindra.
Yes, can't wait to see him.
The creativity in his skating, the smoothness of all of that stuff. I mean, he's probably not going to figure into the top 10, but you never know. I mean, he's got some great skating that I'm excited to see. Lots of very interesting, and maybe it's a little bit of blast up from the past in this event, right? Like Emmanuel Savory is back.
Yeah.
You know,
I think this is his last season, but it's awesome. He made it back.
He made it back. He's been around. I mean, he's been around since
I worked
a long time ago.
When Ice Network used to cover the junior, like lower level events, I worked the U.S. Junior Nationals where he won in Lake Placid, where he won the intermediate title over Nathan Chen. And I remember Nathan saying it makes sense because he has triples and I don't. And it's like, you know.
It was that long ago that Nathan Chen said, I don't have triples.
Yeah, that would have been 2009, I want to say. Maybe 2008.
Yeah, that sounds
no,
about
2000,
right.
2008, I think. Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Because I think 2009, then Emmanuel beat him at novice. And then I think Nathan did intermediate or junior afterward. Yeah. Yeah. It was, yeah. But, yeah, because 2009, I don't know. My brain. I have to look it up.
The fact that you remember this period, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a really interesting, working those events was really interesting. Like the teams that were there, like I remember McNamara and Carpenter were there in intermediate, and they were like babies. Yeah.
Blast from the past.
Also, my memory from that era is much better than my memory today because I was much younger. So it's like crystallized. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a fun nationals. It's going to be a nail biting nationals, and it's going to be there'll be some heartbreak involved. There'll be a lot of tears shed. And viewers note, if you have been following nationals over the past however number of years, you will know that team selections were basically sort of piecemealed out. So like as soon as the women's and the pairs were over, kind of that night you would get it, and then the ice dance was over and you get it the next morning, and then men's is over and then you get it right after the men's. It's going to be different this year. No one except for the skaters will know who has made the team until Sunday afternoon. And that includes officially me and Michelle.
Yeah, officially.
Unofficially, we might know things because we might know things. But basically nothing's going to get officially announced until what was it, Sunday at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
1 p.m. Central Time, which is when the show takes place, and the show is only going to be the Olympic team members. It's going to be very different this year. I still remember like being on the plane and tweeting things out because they were like announcing them, like a couple hours afterwards. And so that's not going to happen this year. It will happen Sunday afternoon, folks. So get ready to do a lot of speculation.
And I don't know how the athletes are being alerted. I'm guessing they're getting a text message saying if they're on the team, if they're an alternate, etc. But I'm sure we'll find out this week.
I feel like in years past it was text message. It was text message based. which is also like, oh my God. I cannot.
This is incredibly stressful. And I mean, props to anyone going through this. This is like to come here and skate and then have to wait for text. It's like,
oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, for those who are not aware of your role at these events, what are you going to be doing this week?
I'm here working for NBC. I'm going to be sitting in the booth with the talent, with Terry and Johnny and Tara and Gabby, and just giving them notes and making sure they say correct things on the air. And yeah,
and that's to say, everybody, that if you hear an interesting tidbit that is said by one of the people on air, the chances are it came from Michelle Ellis.
It's possible. It's possible. Although they are meeting with all the skaters, so hopefully they'll get some there. But if you hear any like Klima von Ponomarenko stats, those are definitely from me.
And it's also to say that they don't take all of Michelle's fun facts to the air.
We definitely don't show as much dance as I want to. I always say, can we show a highlight from the junior free dance? And they're like, no. That's the best event.
Can we just show some Aboya and Veselukin, please?
We should.
Yes. So.
I mean, if I were producing this, we would show the whole last group of junior free dances, and then we'd have a sit-down interview with Melissa and Dennis to talk about their school House of Diamonds. That's where my brain is, but
Michelle Ellis produced U.S. Championships would look very different from what's happening here.
Well, the very first nationals I ever worked in TV was 2007 for ABC, and we watched the junior women practice, and my boss, Amy, was like, I'm going to talk to our producers about this. We've got to show this. And they did. And they showed the junior women's free skate with Caroline Zhang, Mirai Nagasu, Ashley Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never given up hope since then to do it for dance.
Oh, those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you see us around this week in St. Louis, come say hi. Michelle, I've already gotten multiple people who are like, is Michelle going to be there with you? I want to say hi to Michelle. So
I'll be around.
That's
And I may have brought some pins with me. Just a few.
I have brought a lot of pins.
I'll direct you to Jackie for the pin haul.
All the pins are here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I will be live a few times for practice with Jean-Luc Baker. Jean-Luc Baker will be hosting, as usual, the practices this week. I will be doing my normal practice notes for as many things as I can at this event. There will be a lot of multitasking with U.S. nationals and Canadian nationals. And Michelle and I are still trying to figure out how we're going to do our recap show given the craziness of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But I will definitely be on daily, at least once a day, for a recap of the day's events, including practices and any sort of championship events that will be happening. So it's going to be an exciting week. It's going to be a sleepless week for the two of us, and can't wait to bring you all the Olympic season U.S. Figure Skating Championships. So in addition to our preview, we also have a revisit of my interview with Jason Brown in December, where he talked about the last 4 years and what brought him back to competitive skating after what he thought was his last season 4 years ago for the Olympic season in Beijing. So here it is. Well, we got Jason Brown here on the podcast today, and it is Jason Brown's birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. What a way to spend it.
We were just talking about this before we came on, and Jason, you were like, I'm not even thinking about my birthday right now.
Not even slightly.
What's going on?
No, not even slightly. I was like, I got one goal in mind. I am working towards it day by day. My blinders are on. Birthday? What birthday? No, not this year.
You've already accomplished your goal of getting on the Rocker Skating podcast, so that's all good.
Exactly. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, starting my 31st year off like this. I mean, come on. I've made it.
Okay, that's too flattering. Okay, Jason, Nationals is coming up. We're recording this in the middle of December, December 15th, and Nationals is coming up. It will be, and I have looked at this many times, your 14th senior championships.
No way.
And it will be, this is your 13th international senior season.
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. I don't even know how that's possible. Oh my gosh.
What's the last 4 years been like? I mean, I feel like there were a lot of us who saw 2022 and we were like, well, this is Jason's last year, right? Like this is his last season. And then you were like, I'm not done, guys. I'm not done yet. And it feels like it's been like every single season has been like, let's see if we can make another one. Let's see if we can make another one. I want to hear from you, like, what has the last 4 seasons been like?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I was definitely on the train with you all being like 2022. That's the end. That's the last stop. And I think it was this combination. It was the Olympics were my last event of that season, the 2022 Olympics. And then we got to go on tour. And because we were in the middle of COVID, tour was the first time we like got to perform in front of audiences again and like have that experience. And I don't think I realized how much I had missed it. Like, of course, obviously I love performing in front of crowds, but I got, in a lot of ways, I got really used to just the COVID atmosphere that we were in. We were like bubbled up, and it was just like it was so methodical and it was so regimented. And I don't know, I hate saying it became the new norm, but in a lot of ways it did. And so then when we did get to perform in front of audiences again, I was like, wow, like I really missed this, and missed that component so much. And so I remember really thinking I was going to be done still, but I had talked to Tracy and my coach, and we were talking about how much I love performing and doing that. And I actually got asked to do Japan Open, which was an event where like you just do a free program. And I was asked to do it as like the pro skater. So as the skater that's retired, or not competing that season. And so I had already passed on doing the Grand Prix. I was like, I'm not doing it. And I remember the organizers of that event were like, you can just do an old free program. I was like, I'm not doing an old free program. Like, I can't just like do, the programs ended at the Olympics. Like, I wanted to do something new. So anyways, it started that way. And so I trained and I competed at Japan Open, and I was like, looked at Tracy and I was like, oh, like this is fun. This is great to do. And she looked at me and she goes, is there any part of you that wants to continue? And I was like, I don't know. And she was just like, from her experience, she was like, I know how hard it is to take a kind of a whole gap year off and then come back. So she's like, if there's any part of you that thinks maybe, let's go for it for the year and see how it is. And still, she goes, I still want you to do all your commitments with whether it was, I was doing media stuff that year. I was doing a bunch of different shows. And I had lots more lined up. And so she goes, I want you to do all that and explore all that. And, let's see what, maybe show up at nationals. Just have another experience that wasn't COVID, I guess, in a lot of ways. Did that. Ended up second. Was assigned to the world team. We were like, okay, sure. And then I ended up 5th at Worlds. And I had done all these shows, and in so many ways, I felt so inspired by these different opportunities in the sport and doing things in such a different way. And so at the end of that year, she kind of looked at me and was like, that was exciting. That was neat. That was different. And at the same time, completely honest, I thought that was it. I was like, how many times can you do half a season?
We all thought that was it. I mean, I still remember being at Worlds watching. It was Impossible Dream that year, right? Yeah, I was watching Impossible Dream, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be the last time I see Jason
Yes!
skate," and then it wasn't, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's this is so good."
No, my God. I appreciate it. But yeah, so really was like, and then I was like, well, that was it. What a way to end the season. We did World Team Trophy. It was so fun. We won. It was like a great, like, kind of um, ending to the year. And I even remember like I was there with Alexa and Brandon, and I knew that like they were, um, have they officially retired?
I don't think they ever
Officially or not,
officially
I
retired
knew
from
that they weren't
Canada.
gonna compete the next year. And so,
Right.
like, we were both like, I was even talking to Alexa about, like, "Oh my god, we're both gonna be moving back to Chicago," and, like, like, just, like, what the next steps were gonna be. Um, and simultaneously, w I had a call, the same thing at the end of the year, US Figure Skating, you sit down with, the high performance team, and they say, "What are your plans? Talk about Grand
Mhm.
Prix, da da da." And I said, no, no Grand Prix. Like, I'm not gonna do it. And they're like, do you want to do another partial season? And I remember like looking at Tracy and looking at the high performance team, and I'm like, is that an option? Like, is that actually something that I could do a second year?
You're doing the Michelle Kwan.
Do you know what's so crazy is that's what they brought up. And I was like, no, 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 no. You cannot for 1 second put me on the same sentence as Michelle Kwan, like, not a single possible way. But what they were kind of referring to is the fact that, like, you have been in this sport for so long. You have done
Right.
year after year. You've proven yourself time and time again. Like, this is an option because of what you've done. It isn't something that, like, we just be like, yeah, we'll support you if you do half a season. But
Mhm.
because of your, as you just mentioned, that list of insane amount of years that I've been doing it, they were like, "Yes, if you want, you can do another year like that." And I just remember looking at Tracy and I was like, "Okay, like if I can keep doing all the shows and keep kind of pushing myself professionally in these different ways and have those outlets and be able to compete and kind of keep that competitive edge still going and seeing if it's, even I just felt like the competitions helped me enjoy the show so much more because I was so trained when I did the shows. And then the constant performing gave me what only getting to compete a few times throughout the year, it gave me that constant opportunity to get out in front of crowds, perform, and practice in a different way. Anyways, it ended up kind of same result, got second at nationals, fifth at worlds. And then it came to like this moment where you look out into
2
the
more
future,
years.
you're suddenly at 2 more years, and
Yeah.
you're like, and it was like I had never done a home worlds. So like feeling like I didn't even give myself that opportunity to try to make a world team at home and have that, like, I was like, oh, like I feel like I'll regret not at least trying. And then obviously you make it that far, you're like, well, now, like, if I walk away at this point, then I'm really gonna regret, regardless of what happens. And
Yeah.
regardless of the outcome, making it that far and walking away, being like, I didn't even give it a shot. I just like felt like, oh, yeah, that those were two things where suddenly it became, oh my gosh, 2 years, I can digest this and I can also look back
Yeah.
regardless of what happens and feel like I have no regrets, knowing that at least I
Right.
saw it through.
I still remember seeing you at Skate America in Norwood, Massachusetts in 2022,
Yes, in 2022.
and you and I talked, and I was like, "Hey, Japan Open, that looked really good," and you were like, "Just you wait," and I was like, "I'm gonna have to keep this secret for
Oh my
months."
gosh.
And so I kept being like, "Okay, well, I can't say anything, I can't say anything," but, I kept just being like, "Oh,
Oh my god.
Jason and his Japan Open," and then you came back, so it was
That's
all good.
so funny. Yeah, I
Um,
remember being at Skate America, and that was the week that I had to either accept the bye to nationals because it's based on our previous season. And so
mhm.
they were like, Are you gonna go? Like,
Are you doing
are
it?
you accepting the bye? Are you not?" And I do remember we accepted it. And so, yeah, so when you were talking, I was like, Oh my gosh. Uh,
Just you wait.
just you wait.
Uh, okay, so all of these years of competition and practice and shows and all of that, what have you found to be the most difficult thing about sort of growing up and maturing in the skating world? And then what have you found to be the easiest thing, and that
Oh my
surprisingly
god.
so?
I think the most difficult part, and I know this sounds a bit probably redundant or obvious, is just the fact that like your body is the instrument, is the tool, is like
Hmm.
you're putting your body out on the line. And when I mean that, it's not only like physically you're out in front of people and like you're doing it, but it's like every day in training you're pushing your body every day. Like there's a constant stress of, am I fueling properly? Am I recovering correctly? Am I doing enough workouts? Am I pushing, like what's my limit? Did I push too far? Did I push enough? Am I And I think like that frustration too of like even when you're dealing with the mental side of expectations and pressure, it all goes back to like, why can't my body do this? Or what am I
Right.
doing wrong? And I think that constant kind of back and forth, that internal struggle, um, and frustration. And of course, as in any sport, you're always looking around you and what other people are doing. And you're like, how can they do whatever they're doing? And like, whatever it might be, whether it's like, I feel like I'm working twice as hard, or I feel like, I'm even more careful about what I'm eating or how I'm fueling, or, I'm working with everybody I could possibly work with to, whether it's master a jump or get into a certain position on my spin. And yet it's not good enough, or it's not where you want it to
Hmm.
be, or you're not progressing the way that other people around you are, or people are saying you should be. And so I think like that is probably the most difficult part, um is growing up and really, I don't want to call it saying like you're learning the fact that like A plus B does not equal C, but like there's that realization of like, wait, I can put in 100 hours, 1,000 hours, 3,000 hours, and yes, I'll continue to improve, but like how much, or what will that look like, or compared to who? And I think that like those constant questions and kind of having those kind of demons um going through your brain, like not being able
Hmm.
to always, like, I think people don't realize how, I mean, now as an athlete all these years later, like I have so much respect for what everybody does, because everyone has such a different journey of what they're going through and a process. And but I think growing up and realizing that there is not one path to achieving a certain goal or making a team or doing that,
Yeah.
I don't, in a lot of ways was hard to wrap my brain around, I guess. And like,
Right.
yeah, and just feeling like you are failing because your body can't do something, or um but yeah, and just being able to go into the rink every single day and be like, I'm going to try again. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep progressing the best that I can, and do that. But yeah, I think that was really hard as a kid growing up, just feeling like I was constantly falling short of what people were doing, because, or falling short of what people expected of me. But at the same time, I was trying so hard and I was doing everything in my, like what I felt in my power to accomplish something, and just feeling like it was
Hmm.
still not good enough. And then like letting it become an attack on me, because obviously it's like
Right.
I'm physically not doing it.
I mean, yet you've won 9 medals at the U.S. Championships. You've been top 10 in the
Ugh.
world 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. If you count Worlds and the Olympics, I mean,
Well,
you know,
I appreciate that, but I think I
naysayers,
thank you.
right?
Yeah, and I think, I think too, as I gotten older, it's of course different, but we're so fixated on those top spots that, you mentioned so many incredible accomplishments that I think for so long, I didn't give myself the time of day to realize the value of those things. Because it's like when you're in the top 10 for 9 years or 10 years in a row, that's amazing.
It's
but
a
when
thing.
you're in a you're in a place and you're in a sport where it's like, what's valued might be just the top 3, or you're around people that, I always think it's, that medalist mentality where you'll go somewhere and someone will be like, "Oh, how'd you do?" And you're like, "Oh, I ended up 6th." Or, "Oh, I got like 4th." And they're like, and you feel almost not saying guilty, but like I know it wasn't good enough. I did that in quotes. I realize I'm not on video for everyone watching, but like that feeling of like you're falling short because people value those top 3 as like, oh, that event was a success if you brought home a medal. And so there's just so many other ways to define that success. And
I mean, I'm looking at 2014 Olympics, and you are literally the only one who is still skating out of this group.
Yes.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
I mean, you're the first time you were top 10 in the world, Yevgeny Plushenko was still skating. Like, it's just the longevity that you've had, right? We've talked about longevity in the sport so much more over the past 2 Olympic cycles, with skaters, one, being able to continue to do the things that they can do, but 2, I think people are appreciating being able to be around longer more than they used to, and it has a lot to do with both the training and the just the general mentality of you just being like, well, this is my 4th Olympic cycle and I can do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think, I know we mentioned Michelle Kwan earlier, but like, she's someone that I just like everybody looked up to her. But like, I remember I was fortunate enough to get to, when I say train with her one summer, she was training in Lake Arrowhead, California, and I too was there that summer training in Lake Arrowhead, California. We were not on the same session. I was not nearly not training with her, but training at the same facility. And I remember I'd watch all of her sessions, and you just speak to, and it was longevity. It was staring at longevity, someone who had this staying power in the sport, who has been in it for so long and was continuing to push herself and continuing to just do such incredible things. And I think growing up, the people that I looked up to at least felt like they had these long careers and they were constantly in the skating scene. And whether that was because there was a professional, side of skating as well that was also televised, and so like it felt like their careers were longer, even if they weren't in the amateur field. And obviously that doesn't exist anymore. But I just I don't know. I just remember growing up and seeing that possibility of people with such long careers, and it's not as common as it once was.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it speaks to how much you love the sport, how much you love competing, skating, all of that stuff. Also speaks to how much everybody loves seeing you,
Thank
right?
you.
And so, there's a whole fandom out there who says, this is my favorite Jason program. This is my favorite Jason program. What is Jason's favorite Jason program?
Too hard. I do want to just
more than one is fine.
I do want to just, because you briefly talked for a moment about the fans, I just want to take a brief moment to just thank them. There have been so many times throughout my career that I have felt or questioned whether there was a space for me in the sport, or whether the sport was moving away from me and I couldn't catch up, or whether I had a right to continue competing. I think there was all these questions in it. And the fact that the fans have stayed by me and have supported me and have been so vocal in saying that my skating matters to them, and I don't even mean when I say my skating, I don't mean specifically mine, but the type of skating that I bring to the sport. And that they fight for me and they fight for that spot. And it doesn't, I don't take that lightly. And it means so much to me. And a huge reason of why I'm still even able to do that is because of the fans and the fact that like the fans have even just like their support at events, the officials see that. The ISU sees that. They see the impact. And it doesn't go unnoticed. And it's changing our sport. And it has changed my life. And I just want to thank everyone so much for that.
I can't wait to have this conversation with you in a few months when the ISU changes the rules.
Well, we'll see what happens. That said, we could, like we said, blinders up. We're focused on in the moment.
Blinders, yes.
I just want to take a moment because you mentioned the fans, and I just really wanted to say that all to you guys, and I truly cannot thank you enough. That said, when it comes to my favorite programs, honestly, it's like I feel like it's like what it would feel like to like pick my favorite child, if I had kids. So hard.
I mean, these are your kids. These are totally your kids.
I would have to say, like, of course, Riverdance holds a super special place in my heart. Love is a Bitch. I love that program, and it came from like a really like I was in a really like kind of a negative dark place, and it was very therapeutic. And I like loved that. And it kind of like
that was totally like fierce Jason that we hadn't seen
and it
before.
There was like an anger and a passive aggressive side of myself that like I didn't even know existed that I like unleashed, and I loved that. So I would say Love is a Bitch. Sinnerman, so special. Schindler's List, so special to me. I have to say I've done these two. I did Scent of Love, and I did Spiegel on Spiegel. I know that like these two kind of pure piano pieces from start to finish were really special to do. And I just remember talking to Roheen, because Roheen Ward, my choreographer of 20 plus years, who I've just been so fortunate to work with. What's been so cool is seeing the evolution of what we can do. And I think when he brought me those pieces and was like, I want you to do these piano pieces, and there wasn't a lot of variation, but he was like, you are strong enough and mature enough, and your skating is developed enough to carry these pieces and to kind of, in a lot of ways, enhance them through your skating. And I think that was something that it was a really cool kind of undertaking to do. And I loved that process as well. Kind of going from like, I don't know, to like, wow. Like I loved that challenge. Yeah.
So I Scent of Love is one of my favorites of yours because of the sort of quietness of it. And you really just, I still remember at, what was it, Milan Worlds, right?
Yes.
No, Helsinki Worlds.
Yes.
When you were skating it and you did your step sequence, and like there was like this instant applause during this very quiet moment in the program, and I'm like, that's impact.
No, it was very cool, and I think it also just showed me like what not only my skating but also what simplicity could look like and and how it could impact an audience and also resonate with people. I think too, when I was growing up, we put so many transitions in my program. Like I like would go like off the walls when it came to transitions, and I could whip things off when I was really little. And then it was really neat to kind of see Roheen start to then pull back in certain areas and draw out and really focus on the lines and the fluidity, and kind of we reworked my skating in so many different ways and reinvented myself so many different times. It was really, really, really special. But yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, Riverdance in 2014 and now Riverdance in 2026. If 2026 Riverdance Jason had something to say to 2014 Riverdance Jason, what would it be?
Can you believe we're doing this again? That's honestly never in a million years that I think that I would ever revisit this program and do it. That said, it's so crazy. You're talking about first we're talking about a 12 years.
12 years. Your career as a proper teenager.
This year I was competing at a senior B. And someone came up, one of the other competitors came up to me, who like I really truly look at as a peer, because obviously we're in the same event, we're competing against each other, came up to me and they're like, I had to go, when you were skating to Riverdance, I had to like walk out. Like I knew I was competing, but like I had to walk out into the audience and like watch it because that was my childhood. And I was like, you're just being nice, like ha ha ha. And then I like did the math and I was like, oh, you were 6. I was like, oh, you were a child. Like, it like, I was like, oh, you were truly a child. Like, like, think for me, it's like, I remember when I was, 6 to 10 and the seniors and watching them compete at the Olympics, or like, I so clearly remember watching the 2006 Olympics. And like, and suddenly I'm like, wait, okay, like, you're not lying. Also, this is crazy. Also, like, how is that a thing? And so, and I think something also that's totally separate, totally different note, but I've been very fortunate to do Shizuka Arakawa's show in Japan each summer. And in honor of the next year will mark her 20th year of doing this show. And so in the show, in the final show of this last year, to kind of tease next year's, the 20th anniversary, she performed Nessun Dorma. It was... Wow. And it was just like, wait. It transported me back to this moment. And I just was like, the whole cast, obviously the audience watching, we were all just like, oh my gosh. And the memories. And so like, I don't know, there was something so special about revisiting it all these years later and kind of doing it in a way. Oh, sorry. Now back to Riverdance, like revisiting Riverdance all these years later, and doing it in a way that was different, but also showed my growth. And I've been excited. It's definitely been a process, and we keep kind of figuring out. It keeps evolving as the year has gone on, but really, really loving it. And it's just been such a fun kind of celebration, throwback thing to celebrate with the audience.
Well, exactly. Speaking of things that you're giving back to the fans too, as much as you're giving back to yourself and your career, right? You know how much that program has meant to the skating community. And
I can't, I mentioned earlier, it's
amazing.
I owe you guys so much. I owe the fans so much, and I'm so unbelievably grateful. And so if this is the least I could do to say thank you for all their years of support.
I do have an inside baseball question on this one. When you did Riverdance in Boston last year for the exhibition, was it already like, I'm doing this for my short program, or was it?
No. If it makes you, it was definitely something that planted the seed. Like, I think it was something that because I did a shortened version of it, like we had never considered it as like a short, like, and I love that program. And I'm like, I'm not saying I'm not fit or in shape or good. It was never going to be a long again. Like, that was out of the question. And like, hey, I'm healthy, I am fit. Like, I'm not like blaming it on my age. It's just like, it was never going to be a long again. And so I think we really didn't even consider it as a short. And to be completely honest, I didn't even decide to like potentially do it at the exhibition at Worlds until like a week before. So it was like a week before Worlds, I was like, okay, I will put this edit together and like, we will potentially do it. And I remember just like one night before I left for Boston Worlds, I like practiced it with Tracy of like, here's the patterns, here's the things. But I don't know. There's a part of me that like, I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to I don't know. I just felt weird to plan it. But at the same time, knowing that it was a home worlds, there was obviously a big chance of me doing the exhibition and Boston. So like, I also knew like, okay, regardless of how I do, like, you know, but at the same time, you just don't know. You don't know. And I didn't want to like screw anything up. But I had fun practicing with Tracy, and Tracy had a really fun like working on it with me. So I think maybe Tracy had a little bit of like, ooh, like I want him to explore this next year. But so it could have been like she may have, but no, for me it was just like I was doing it for Boston, but I think it kind of maybe there was that moment where it was like, we could do this in a condensed way, or it could be like looked at as a short. And later on at the end of the show season or the spring season, Tracy said, I know you're going to choreograph other short programs, but can you also throw in the possibility of doing Riverdance? So I actually this summer, we choreographed 3 short programs. So I won't tell you what they were because obviously in the end of the day, Riverdance was the one that was chosen, but that's how much it really wasn't. And it really was like a back and forth, like not really knowing like, because it's one of those things too. It's like, if you're going to go down this road, you can't go down the road. Like there are other times where it's like, you can put out a program and be like, nah, we're going to like, go in a different direction mid-season. This is not exactly one of, I mean, you could, hey, it's always freedom to choose what you want. You can do whatever, always, right? But there was a part of me that like knew like I couldn't be like, I'm doing it, psych, I'm not doing it. Like
there would be a riot.
I couldn't do that.
Literal. That's amazing. Well, as much as I would love to continue talking to you, I know like I have already taken up too much of your time. But you're going to not celebrate your non-birthday right now. Probably going to go to bed soon. Yes. My guess. Yep. But thank you for joining me, and best of luck. Obviously, happy holidays to whatever holidays you're going to be celebrating.
Likewise.
That is not in the rink. But we will see each other bright and early in January in St. Louis.
I can't wait to see you in 2026.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. For Michelle Ellis, this is Jackie Wong, Chief Skate Nerd of rockerskating.com. Thank you, as usual, to our friends at John Wilson Blades and to Tara Nichols for your unwavering editing support for us. So we hope you all enjoy this week's national championships. It's going to be fun, hopefully. Hopefully it will be fun. I do not want too much drama. I want as many happy faces as possible. So let's cross our fingers for that. All right, we'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.